Abhi Madhugiri of AppDynamics, the global leader in application performance management, is here to join us on another episode of the 10-Minute POV. Welcome. How are you, Abhi?
Good, Chip. Thanks for having me. Good to be here.
Oh, it's wonderful to have you here. But before we dive into AppD and what's very unique about your particular APN offering, can you just share with us a little bit about your background and your journey in joining AppD?
Yeah. Thanks, Chip. Happy to sort of walk you through, and I'll make it brief. I come from the IT infrastructure background, so when I started my career a few years ago, I'll leave it at that. I used to build, run, and manage data centers. And I've always been, some of my best days were spent troubleshooting within those environments. And fast forward, what really fascinated me about AppDynamics and what we do is helping those guys that are in the IT war rooms, in the data centers, in the network rooms, automate, what I used to do in a very manual manner is looking at the health of applications, looking at the health of infrastructure, looking at the health of network, elements and boxes. So that's why I took this opportunity, and it's been a fun journey so far.
Oh, excellent. Well, appreciate you sharing that.
Sure.
So one thing that's interesting is the fact that AppD was a serious strategic acquisition by Cisco back in 2017, just days before AppD was slated to IPO.
Yep.
Now, obviously, this was a big decision by Cisco to throw down $3.7 billion for AppD. Why did they do it? What makes AppD so very unique amongst all the other APM players in the market?
Right. No, absolutely happy to talk about that. And look, AppD is, the only company, the only ISV in the APM space that's able to provide that full stack observability. So, right from the business to the application to the network, infrastructure, and now even security. So we let businesses observe what matters most so they can quickly and efficiently address an issue, solve it in an expeditious manner, and resolve it so their customers are not impacted. So look, when you sort of get into an IT war room, as I like to call it, the mean time to innocence is always less than the mean time to resolution, right? We don't want that because that impacts your business, that impacts your customer experience. So what we do is provide that single pane view of glass where your IT teams, your network teams, your data center teams, et cetera, are looking at the same data, are able to diagnose, pinpoint, what's going on and fix it. And bottom line, you're able to, reduce that mean time to resolution and get that, problem resolved.
Excellent. So I appreciate you doing that. Why don't we do this though, real quickly? Could you just define, again, APM in the context of AppD? And then I got some other questions I'd love to ask you, learn more about.
Yeah, look, I think in the context of AppD for us, application management is, providing that end-to-end visibility across the application all the way down to the code level, right? Which is great. But what really matters, our heritage and which made us really successful is what we call is business IQ. So when there is an application or code level issue happening, you want to correlate that in real time with the business impact, right? So when you can materialize a business impact, pinpoint it to the business owner or our customer, they get it. They're able to resolve it. They're able to understand why it matters. And we sort of bring those two things together. I think that's where the rubber hits the road.
Okay, excellent. Now, you had mentioned earlier that you really cut your teeth in managing data centers, really understanding how to operate at an optimal level in those environments, taking into consideration all of the different variables that you have to manage, whether it's refreshing, whether it's negotiating EAs, etc. So if I want to hypothetically say, in this case, I'm a I'm a potential customer of yours, and I'm in a situation that you were once in.
Right.
What is it that if I choose not to move forward with APM, what am I going to be faced with in a world where there is mass adoption of APM? What's the potential cost to me in my business for not taking advantage of this solution?
Absolutely. That's a great question, right? And we conducted a survey early last year across our customer base. And the respondents in that survey said 74% of projects have been approved within weeks rather than months or years when they use AppD's application performance management or APM. And 71% of the same respondents said the projects have been implemented in weeks rather than months or years. So when you quantify the effect and the impact that we have with customers, that's really it. Couple that with businesses moving to the cloud, right? When you're moving to the cloud, there's so many considerations. You don't have the visibility across your own application that's in an on-premise environment. Now you're trying to move that to the cloud environment. So what we do is provide that visibility, not both actually, pre, during, and after migration. So you move with confidence, you observe what matters the most, and when you move to the cloud, you're able to innovate a lot quicker and at scale, ultimately providing a better experience and a continually improved experience for your end customer. So that's what you're missing, if you will. And the third point I will make is from a cost optimization standpoint. So when you know what you're moving, you don't over provision in the cloud. So when you look at the spend that happens in the cloud, billions of dollars are wasted because you're over provisioning. So when you know what you're moving, what you need, and you couple that with the monitoring services that we work really well with on AWS's front, including CloudWatch and X-Ray, you have a winning combination there.
Fantastic. Excellent. So when you start to engage with a customer, and because everything that you just mentioned is delicious, it's wonderful stuff. So for an IT decision maker, that's the kind of thing that makes such a difference in terms of empowering good decision making.
Right.
So with that, when you're approaching and your ideal customer persona, and who would that typically be that you would want to work with in an organization?
Yeah, look, I think typical personas that we work with are IT decision makers. So
Okay.
your CIOs and CTOs that are contending with moving their on-premise applications to the cloud. They're trying to figure out how do you do this? How do you do this with low impact to the customers? How do you sort of know what you have and know what you need in the cloud, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's a key persona. Then we work with business owners, right? Business owners that own the application at the end of the day. For example, if you're a hotel and you have a mobile application that hundreds and thousands of your customers are using for booking, you want to make sure that when that is moved to the cloud, you're not impacted. So those are some of the personas that we work with.
Great. In terms of the benefits to those
Yeah.
individuals that you're working with,
Right.
What really sticks the most in terms of motivation? Really uncovering that ideal basis for
Yeah.
doing business together.
Look, I think at the end of the day, what really, really matters is a great experience for your customer, right? Your user that's using an application, whether it's to do a travel booking, whether it's to book a healthcare appointment, whether it's in a telco setting. So what matters to them is flawless experience. If you're a retail customer that when you add something to the cart, you don't have cart abandonment because your application or your code is broken, right?
Yeah.
So that flawless experience where at the end of the day, customers keep coming back is what matters.
Excellent. No, I appreciate that very much. Now, do you need a systems integrator to stand up AppD in the enterprise?
Look, we have relationships with a lot of large systems integrators, and we value them as partners. But no, I mean, look, AppD is very simple and easy to deploy. You don't always need them. There are specific situations when you do need to partner with a global SI. And again, we have some great relationships there that we can come to bear, but no, out of the box, you don't.
Excellent. Excellent. Thank you. Last question. So
Sure.
I'm that customer again. I'm currently an AWS enterprise customer.
Sure.
What's the best way for me to consume AppD for my environment? How do I get my hands on it?
Yeah, that's right. That's a really good question. So we have, POV, trials that we do that are really successful. But look, one of the reasons we've been super successful and one of the top 5 ISVs on the AWS Marketplace is the marketplace.
Mhm.
Field sellers to leverage and bring customers and use their spend commits and transact and get AppD in a very easy way. And you look at sort of a couple things where we've had impact on the marketplace. We've seen 11% more improvement in close rates, right? We've seen 5 times larger deal sizes in terms of TCV value when we partner with AWS both on the co-sell and marketplace motion. So look, my message is, you land on our website and we can help you, and or on our AWS Marketplace listing, and we're happy to work with you.
Abby, that was outstanding, man. We really appreciate you jumping on the 10-minute POV and giving us your insight into the wonderful world of AppD. We appreciate it very much.
Hey, thanks, Chip. Thanks for having me. Always happy to talk about this successful partnership. And good luck.
Thank you. Thank you so much. If you don't mind, what I'm going to do is put your contact info in the description of the video.
Sure.
Excellent. Well,
that'd be great. Thank you.
Thank you again very much. We'll talk to you soon, Abby. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Cheers.